Let's slow down for a moment and think honestly. How many times have you started something with full energy, believing this time would be different? You make a plan, you feel ready, and for a few days everything seems right. But then something changes, not outside, but inside you. The energy becomes weaker, the focus starts to fade, and slowly you stop. Not suddenly, not loudly, just quietly. And after that, you try again with something new, hoping it will finally work. But the result feels the same. If this keeps happening, you start to doubt yourself. You begin to think maybe you are the problem. But what if the problem is not you at all? Most people believe they need more motivation, but that idea is not completely true. Motivation feels powerful, but it is not stable. It comes and goes depending on your mood, your energy, even your environment. For example, think about a day when you feel strong and ready to do everything. Now compare that to a day when you feel tired and distracted. If your actions depend on those feelings, your progress will always go up and down. This is why many people stay stuck for years. They are not lazy, they are just following something that keeps changing. Real progress needs something more stable than emotion. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine someone who decides to start working out. The first few days feel exciting and they push themselves hard. But after a week, their body feels tired, their mind feels bored, and they start skipping days. Soon they stop completely, and now compare that to someone who starts with just 10 minutes a day. It feels too easy at first, almost pointless, but they keep going every single day without pressure. After a few weeks, that small action becomes a habit. The difference is not strength or talent, it is how they started. Small actions feel weak in the moment, but they become powerful over time. There is something important you need to understand about finishing things. Starting is easy because it is exciting. Finishing is hard because it becomes repetitive. For example, reading a new book feels interesting at the beginning, but staying with it until the end requires patience. The same is true for any skill, any goal, any habit. Most people leave when the excitement disappears. They think something is wrong, so they look for something new. But the truth is, nothing is wrong. That boring phase is where real growth happens. If you can stay in that phase, you are already ahead of most people. Now think about your daily environment. The place where you spend most of your time has more influence on you than you realize. For example, if your phone is always next to you, your focus will always be broken. If your space is full of distractions, your mind will follow the same pattern. This is not about willpower, it is about design. Wise people understand this and make their environment support their goals. They remove what is not needed and keep only what helps them move forward. It is a quiet change, but it makes a big difference over time. There is also something else that many people try to avoid: discomfort. Nobody likes it, but it is part of every meaningful path. For example, when you try to learn something new, it feels slow and frustrating at first. Your mind resists it because it is not easy. But that feeling is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are growing. If everything feels comfortable, nothing is really changing. The people who improve are not the ones who avoid discomfort, but the ones who learn to stay calm inside it. Patience is another thing that is often misunderstood. People want results quickly, and when they don't see them, they lose hope. But real change does not happen in a short time. For example, think about planting a seed. You don't see anything at the beginning, but something is happening under the ground. If you stop watering it just because you don't see growth, it will never become a plant. Your efforts work the same way. Even when you don't see progress, something is building inside you. At some point, everything becomes clear in a simple way. You realize that your life is shaped by your actions, not your intentions. Many people plan, think, and imagine, but they don't act consistently. For example, saying, "I will change," means nothing without small daily actions. Responsibility is not a heavy idea, it is actually freeing. Because when you understand that your actions matter, you also understand that you have control, not over everything, but over enough to change your direction. If you stay on this path, something quiet begins to change. You don't suddenly become perfect, and life does not become easy. But you become more stable. You react less to small problems, and you stay focused for longer. For example, things that used to stop you before now feel smaller. This is not because the world changed, but because you did. Growth is not always visible from the outside, but it is very real on the inside. So if you feel stuck right now, don't rush to change everything. You don't need a perfect plan, and you don't need strong motivation. Start small, stay consistent, and be patient with yourself. For example, choose one thing and give it your attention every day, even if it feels simple. Over time, that small action will shape your identity, and one day you will look back and see that the person you wanted to become was built step by step, not in one big moment, but in many small ones.